Hey Tiger fans, Mark Fitzpatrick, Tiger Club of Kansas City. It's Tuesday, September 23rd. We're at the Westport Flea Market. May 10 Sports, host of the program, Soren Petro. Soren, thank you for coming out.
Absolutely, always great being here.
We talked a lot about the Tigers today. I think our fans are feeling pretty good about the season so far. What's your assessment?
I think it's going great. I mean, the big question about them was, can they replace the quarterback? Can they replace the wide receivers? That's been answered with flying colors. The running back looks like one of the best running backs in the country. I think we're about ready to hear. The UMass game isn't going to be the one to put it over the top, but maybe like one more win, and we're going to start hearing Tigers in the playoff talk a lot more nationally.
SEC schedule ahead for the Tigers. They have Alabama in 3 weeks, and then they go to Auburn. They still have to play Texas A&M. They have to go to at Vanderbilt, who looks like a really tough team, and then Oklahoma. It's going to be a tough road. Tigers have a chance to prove themselves.
Yeah, and I think the question is if they can get to 10-2, and listen, they could be undefeated. I'm not trying to take anything off the board, but are they at a point now where 10-2 gets them in, where last year it looked like it was going to have them on the outside? I think Missouri as a program over the last 2 years should have raised its Q rating to the point to where, it's not like, well, they're the worst two-loss team. I think now Missouri's, shown it and sustained it. I think that's how you ultimately get to being a playoff team, is that you stack those kind of seasons one right after another. And Missouri's doing that now to where they should have more credibility. I think next year Missouri's probably going to start in the top 25 regardless of who they bring back, because you're going to start to look like a fool when you don't put them in your preseason top 25.
Let's talk about the Chiefs. Should we take any encouragement from the second half against the Giants?
Yes, but just encouragement, right? Don't build a. It's not a foundation yet, right? I said, look, it's a step, but it's not the end, right? So they need more to do. Now the question is, does getting Xavier Worthy back, does getting Rashee Rice back, does that unlock this passing offense? They did spend a lot of time throwing the ball down the field in St. Joe. It's something I know they want to do. They've done it more this year. The question is, does getting those weapons on the field, how much will it make them better? It will clearly make them better. Rashee Rice will make them better in the intermediate. I think it opens up Xavier Worthy to be more of the deep threat. I think they've always envisioned him since they drafted him. But at some point, they've got to run the ball better. Not more, better, right? You still throw to win, run when you're winning, but they don't run well enough to make those safeties come up and really open things up down the field. That's what other teams have done that, to me, Andy Reid hasn't gotten to yet, is run the ball really effectively to then open up the passing game. The Lions, if you watched the Monday night game last night, you saw the Lions really pound away with their 2 running backs, and then when they wanted to throw the ball, it was open because the safeties were having to come up and play the run. So, they need to run better, and I don't know that they're going to be able to do that until they get different running backs.
Interesting game this weekend, Ravens against the Ravens. The loser of that game will be 1-3,
Yeah.
looking up in the AFC, and then they get the Lions 2 weeks after that. This is a tough stretch of games.
Yeah, it is, and I think the thing that stands out to me about the Ravens is it looks like they're starting to, feel the burden of paying that winner's tax, of picking at the bottom of every round, of having that really expensive quarterback, not being able to just spend on whoever you want. And so I don't know that the Ravens are maybe quite as deep as they've been in years past. They're now ultra reliant on Lamar Jackson to do everything, the way the Chiefs are on Patrick Mahomes. And so it'll be a really good test. It may be the game that determines which one of these teams are in a step back reload season and which one's in a contending season.
And Derrick Henry needs to hold on to the ball.
Yeah, and I'm sure Raven fans will tell you that if he holds onto the ball, we're 3-0. Just like there are Chiefs fans that'll tell you, if Travis Kelce holds in the ball, Travis Kelce doesn't take Xavier Worthy out on a crossing pattern, we're 3-0. So, one of them's going to get a chance to feel better.
Let's talk about the Royals last. You look at this season with all the injuries, they're still going to be a 500 team. And I know we're just
500-ish.
500-ish. They're not there yet, yeah. But they are 500 today. But
Yeah.
if all things considered, I don't think you can be too disappointed in this season, even though they didn't make the playoffs.
No, and that was one of the questions about, at the end when we were talking with all the folks about, the Royals having a bad season. I said, you just moved to town? Like, if you think this is a bad season, let me show you some of the 100 lost years that stacked up year after year after year. So, they are. This is our new bad seasons. We're in for a real treat with baseball, right? And this is where I think the Cardinals got to every year. Cardinal fans, because to me that's the team the Royals should model themselves after. Every year, Cardinal fans could leave spring training and say, "We got a shot," and I think that's where we are now. They understand pitching. Dayton Moore a long time ago said, "Pitching's the currency in baseball." Then he never saved any of it. That was the problem. Like, he seemed to get it, but then he didn't have it, right? This organization seems to be able to develop it. They've got 2 great young pitchers. that are 17, 18 years old, that are two of the best prospects in baseball down at the lower ends of the minor leagues. They're acquiring guys in trades and making them better when they get here. They're signing guys in free agency and making them as good or better. So I think as long as you can pitch, you'll stay in contention. Question is, can they get the hitting up to that same level, and then you've got a championship caliber club.
All right. Soren Petro, host of the program, also hosts the Red, Gold, and Gold podcast and the Kauffman Corner podcast twice a week. Must listen for you, Mizzou and Kansas City fans. Soren, thank you very much for coming out.
My pleasure.
Always, we always enjoy it. Next week, our speaker will be Cody Goodwin, who is the new football writer at Power Mizzou, and he'll give us some insights as the Tigers start to look ahead to Alabama. For more information on memberships and events, go to kctigerclub.com.